Hello trader, welcome to this video today. So first of all, let me take this opportunity to apologize to you that I had promised on Sunday I will make this video on Wednesday, that is yesterday. But unfortunately, yesterday I wasn't that feeling well. I had this cold fever, so I could not speak well. So that is the reason why I didn't make this video yesterday. But they say better late than never. I hope today is not that late. So, without wasting time, let's dive into the market and see what the market has to offer. So, I'm not going to start my analysis today, most of my analysis today from the higher time frame. So, if you want a thorough market analysis, you can revisit the video that we made on Sunday, and I believe you'll learn a lot from that video. All right. So, since I'm just giving you an update of what has happened since the last time we were here doing analysis together, so I don't see it being wise to start the analysis from the time frame, but at least we'll be starting most of our analysis from the 4 hour time frame. So here in front of us we have a Euro USD from the 4 hour time frame. So last time we analyzed Euro USD here on Sunday, we said that we had this external breakout structure here to the downside, that is from the daily time frame, and internally we could see that this was the last breakout structure from the 4 hour time frame, which swept this fractal high before pushing down to give us a breakout structure to the downside. So we saw Euro USD having this pullback which failed to break this high. We just got a sweep of liquidity there, and we said until we get a breakout structure, we don't have a change of character to the upside, right? But still, as much as we are having this external breakout structure here, we needed to see the internal structure aligning with the external structure for us to conclude that the market is really bearish. Because remember, our idea here is not to predict the market, but to react with what the market is doing. All right. So looking at the internal market structure, you can see we had this breakout structure here. And on Sunday, when we were doing analysis, the market had given us this breakout structure here to the upside from last week. The analysis of last from the structure that we had from the last week. All right. And I remember very closely that we said, since we have this breakout structure here to the upside, and I knew, if you remember very well, guys, if you are here and you watch our previous video, what did we say? We saw that the market had given us this fractal, not fractal, but this internal breakout structure around this area, which for me, I wanted to see this. I saw this one as a fake BOS. Why is it fake BOS? Because you see, this low and not swept liquidity within this impulsive move. All right. Although the market movers or the smart money, they left this very nice demand zone around this area, but for me, I wanted to see this demand zone here acting as smart money trap. I wanted to see market coming, sweeping this liquidity, reacting from this demand zone, and then we buy from there. And that is exactly what the market played out. So market came, used this zone as a smart money trap, swept liquidity below this low, and you can see currently we have reacted to this 1 hour order block down here, and the market has given us an internal change of character. So what else do you see now? See, now that is an indication that market is respecting this internal, which is now an external of the 1 hour time frame. This is a swing of 1 hour time frame. Is it a strong break of structure? Of course it is, because you can see it sweeping this liquidity down here first. So we have a sweep of liquidity before coming to break the structure to the upside from the 4 hour. Market has traded to the discount, and now it has an internal change of character, which is also a good change of character, because once you go to the 1 hour 15 minutes time frame, you see we have this fractal breakout structure here. Market sweep liquidity first before coming to give you a breakout structure, and later on we have a market structure shift. So now it's time for us to start looking for buying opportunity, because we are not going to buy randomly, because the market has given us market structure shift. Okay, as usual, you know our drill. We put our fib from the high to the low. So what do you do after doing this? We wait for a market to come to the discount or the 50% of our dealing range, and then we look for buying opportunity from that zone. But before I come down to this, what we are currently watching here, I want to show you the trend. If you remember closely on Sunday, I told you guys I'll be looking for selling opportunity from this area, because my target was this smart money trap here, of which from the 15 minutes time frame you can really refine it to this last demand zone there, last sell candle before the buy movement. So we saw that on Friday last week, market tapped to this area during past New York session. So market tapped to that zone and a little bit sell on Monday. So Monday morning before I wake up, market had pushed down, swept this liquidity, and it was around somewhere here. It was pushing up. All right. So I saw, okay, market came again to the same zone, used this I as a liquidity, tapped to the same demand zone or same supply zone, sorry. And then I saw something very interesting. You see, we had this last internal break of structure to the upside, which swept this fractal liquidity down here. So later on, let me turn on the my indicator. I want to show you the important what happened. You see now, this is my trading window during the London session. So market push down, give me a market structure shift or a change of character. And exactly after seeing this change of character on Monday, that is when I got interested. Now I saw, okay, I will be looking for my selling opportunity, and I use this flip zone around this area. If you have no idea of what is a flip zone, make sure to watch most of my videos and you'll understand what is a flip zone. Okay, so this flip zone was my order block to sell. I just placed my order here. My stop loss was just few pips above this zone, above this order block, the last buy before the sale, which led to this market structure shift. I just placed my order there, and the take profit was just exactly 1:3. And by just in the less than an hour, I was out of this market, guys. So it is that simple. All right. So that is how I managed to get that trade on Monday. On Tuesday, that is yesterday. Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. I really didn't have anything to trade on that day. All right, so I didn't took any trade on that since market had not yet tapped to this zone. And if the market really wanted to buy after sweeping this liquidity, then my confirmation was I wanted to see market taking out this protected eye. But what did I see? Market sweep this eye, push down to give me a bill break of structure. So that means now I needed to see the market taking out this eye first before looking for that selling opportunity. But unfortunately, yesterday I took a small loss during the New York session. Was it New York? Yes, during the New York session. Yeah, I just want to show you what I saw, and this is one lesson that I learned from that loss. I really yesterday I went against my plan a little bit because first of all I knew very well that the market was reacting from 1 hour on the block or 1 hour demand zone. This is our demand zone here from 1 hour time frame. I knew very well market was reacting from this demand zone, and we had already swept this liquidity, and this was our last break of structure. I knew there is a high chance the market will come and take out this high, but now what did I do? I went to 15 minutes time frame. Even from the 15 minutes time frame, okay, I could see we have an order block that is resting above here. That is from the 15 minutes time frame. But I decided to be smart enough and ignore this one and say, okay, I went to 5 minutes time frame. All right. So from the 5 minutes time frame, this is why, guys, I always advise you to use the higher time frame. All right, because the more you use this lower time frame, market will manipulate you a lot from the lower time frame. Because just understand the objective of what is happening on the lower time frame is to fulfill the objective of the higher time frame. So what did I see? Okay, I saw, all right, from the 5 minutes time frame, I can see we have an inducement or sweep of liquidity, then a break push to the downside, and I could see we have a very good order block around this area. All right, we can see that very nice order block around that area. So what happened at that point of time? So I saw, okay, from the 5 minutes, I can see this was not the last. I can use this one. The reason why I'm using this one as my last break of structure is because here we don't have a break. It's just a sweep of liquidity. And then we have a break of structure here to the downside or a change of character, of which this is not a strong change of character, guys. All right. If you understand how we determine a strong change of character, this wasn't a strong change of character because even it did not sweep this low. This break never swept this low. So actually the strongest break of structure was supposed to be here. But I said, okay, let me ignore that, and I use this one as my break of structure, change of character. So market pushed up. Okay, this is what gave me confidence. We had a sweep of this high here. I said, okay, market wanted to sweep this high and also sweep this high here around this area and then push down. Now, at this point of time, I went to 1 minute time frame. Again, if you have been following me, you know very well I'm not a fan of lower time frame. That is 1 minute time frame. Most of my trade comes either from the 15 minutes time frame or uh, or from 15 minutes time frame, or from 5 minutes time frame. That is the point. Okay, so what did I do at this point of time? Was it that I just want to confirm something. I really need to see where I took my Henry. Okay, I saw the sweep of this eye. Okay, now I think I used also a fractal change of character here. If you look closely, we have this fractal break here, which led to this fractal change of character around this area. All right, so I went to 5 minutes. I want to know where did I take that entry from. No, it was not there, guys. Sorry. It was not there. Let me go back to 1 minute, not 1 but 15. I want to confirm exactly where we were taking that sale from. All right, it was around in this area. It wasn't there. I want to show you these mistakes that we, as traders, we do make. So I saw this change of character around this area. Okay, so we had this change of character around this area. So market came, reacted from this supply zone, pushed down to give you this break of structure to the downside. Since now we didn't have any other liquidity within this impulsive move to the downside, what did I saw? I saw the market sweeping this high. Okay, so we have the sweep of this internal high. After sweeping, exactly this is what I was seeing. I had this one from 1 minute time frame. Let's go to the 1 minute. From 1 minute time frame, you can see very clearly that that was our last internal break of structure, and then I saw this change of character at that point. So immediately I saw that our entry was on this flip zone here. So I took a sell from that flip zone, although I was risking very small because I knew very well this is a very risky trade. Stop loss was above there. Stop loss was above there, and the TP was at least 1:3. I was actually targeting these lows down here. That is where my TP was supposed to be. So how did it go? So market came, activated. I was running in some profits, but later on market came back and took us out. I think I was in with one of my students. We called this one on live session. So we were really on some profits. So I was telling the guy, if the market will really push down and give you this break to the downside, that is when we're going to move our stop loss to break even. So unfortunately, market never pushed down. It continued going up and we were taken out at break even. So the lesson learned from this loss is that guys, pay attention to the higher time frame. At least focus on for your entries, either 15 minutes time frame or 5 minutes time frame. The more you go to this lower time frame, the more you get confused. So what are we currently watching now on Euro USD? So from the Euro USD currently, I'm gonna delete everything here since this one has already not worked out. So currently, since we have this change of character to the upside, what are you waiting for? We are waiting for a market to come at least to this demand zone, because this is what I can see from the 1 hour time frame. If you want to confirm that this is a fake BOS or a true break of structure, go to 4 hour time frame, and you can see clearly even from the 4 hour time frame, it is our break. We have a change of character to the upside. So that one gives us a confidence of what is happening on 1 hour time frame, since we have this market structure shift. So from the 4 hour time frame, if you wish, you can mark the whole of this candle. The last buy before the sale, the last sale before the buy becomes your order block, and you can see you have a fair value gap around this area. So this is what you are expected to see. Once the market taps to this zone, you go to the 15 minutes time frame and you wait for a W formation. So once you see this, that is your signal to buy. You have a break to the downside, a change of character. Look for an entry, either a breaker block, an order block, fair value gap, whichever works for you guys. Look for that from the 15 minutes time frame, and then you take your buy from there, targeting this eye. That is where I expect your target to be. So that is it on Euro USD. Going to the next pair, which is going to be GBP USD. The same thing, guys, that we had here with the GBP USD. I told you guys, if you remember, if you pay attention to this analysis that we normally do here, they're going to help you a lot. So what did we see? From the GBP USD, this was our last break of structure to the upside. If you remember very closely, we had this one as our break of structure. Okay, so we had this zone here as our flip zone. If you go to the not flip but our SMT or smart money trap. Why was I using this zone as a smart money trap? Because if you look at this buy movement, there is no any liquidity that was resting within this impulsive move. So definitely I was anticipating the market to use this demand zone here as a smart money trap. All right, and that is exactly what the market did, because I could see there is a lot of relative equal loss that are resting below this smart money trap of ours. So what are we seeing? So GBP USD came to the same zone, tapped to that zone, violated the zone, then pushed down to react from this demand zone that we are seeing down here. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see we have the last sale candle before the buy movement. That becomes a order block. So what are we supposed? Are we now supposed to start jumping in because the market has given us a stop to our demand zone? No. Marking the key zone, guys, does not mean it's your entry, right? So what do you know? We need to see the market giving us a confirmation that it wants to buy from this area. So when you go to the 15 minutes time frame, let me remove all this. I can turn on this, turn off this indicator first of all. Let's look at this market. So from this market, what are we seeing? We have this one as our last break of structure here, right? Of course, you can see it sweeping this high. We have a sweep of liquidity around that area. Let me try to zoom in for you to see clearly. We have a sweep of that high, fractal high, before the break push to the downside to break this low. So it means if the market wants to buy, unlike Euro USD, GBP USD has not given us a change of character to the upside, right? So at this point, we are waiting to see a break to the upside. So once we see this break, that is our change of character. So what do? Wait for a pullback and then we join for a buy. So as at now, we have no signal to buy, guys. Currently, we have no signal to buy. So what are we waiting for? As I've said, we are waiting for a market to take out this high. So once we have a candle closing above this high, wait for a pullback, then we join for our buy. Okay. From the 1 hour time frame, yeah. Even that is how you confirm your break of structure actually. Guys, from the 1 hour time frame, you can see we have a candle closing, meaning whatever you are seeing from the 15 minutes time frame, it's valid. It's not a fake one. So we have a break now. So we expect to see market taking out this eye, right? So once we take out this eye, this was supposed to be a order block. Market has already tapped to it, but unfortunately, we need to wait and see what the market will do first. First of all, market has to give you that change of character. If you don't see that, don't take any buy as at this point of time. Okay, so that is it on this pair. Moving on to our good friend gold. So what are we seeing on gold? If you remember, if not the last Sunday, the analysis we did on the last Sunday, maybe the previous Sunday, if you have been here for a while, we analyzed the gold and we saw that gold was very bullish. That is in terms of a swing structure. All right, we saw gold coming and tapping from this support zone down here. Why is it that our support zone? Because this was our last break of structure. You see that zone, that weak. You can call it. We can also call it a weak rejection, which is also a support zone down there. So after doing that, we went to the daily time frame, and we could see that this was our strong low, right? This is something we did. I'm just repeating here. So we have, for the sake of those who are watching me for the first time, we had a sweep of liquidity from the one daily, then a break to the upside, meaning these are very strong low. Gold came to that area and it's currently reacting from that zone. And if you look closely, because also we don't just assume things, we need to wait and market gives us a confirmation that the market really wants to do what we anticipate. Since the market reacted from is currently reacting from this support zone, what will be our confirmation? We need to see daily time frame giving us this change of character here. All right, either daily, because I believe even if you go to the 4 hour time frame, that will still be your last break of structure. So what do we need? We need to see market breaking this eye. Until we break this eye, market is still bearish. All right, because of this one. Externally, market is still bearish. Let me mention that. Externally, market is still bearish until we break this eye. Once we break this eye, that is when you'll see that in terms of this internal of the higher time frame. Remember, this is an internal of weekly time frame, right? But from the daily time frame, this becomes also the internal of the daily time frame. So if this internal shift bullish, that is our confirmation that this market is now ready to buy from there. Okay, that was the idea. That is why I'm marking this one as my strong high or our protected high. So when you went to 4 hour time frame, what did we see? So from the 4 hour time frame, we had this flip zone where the market reacted from, and from there it was selling to the downside. So until something caught my attention here, you saw this internal change of character around this area. This was our last bullish internal break or structure around this area. So on last week, market came to this. Is it last week or this week? Yeah, last week market tapped to this demand zone. It was reacting from there. But again, we said, guys, until the market gives us a change of character, we are still bearish. If you remember very well, that is what we did on Sunday. So we marked this one. We identify our swing low to the swing high. This was our order block. All right. Then we went to 1 hour time frame. We also could see that we also had this order block around this area. We also had that order block around this area. So we said, if this order block fails, we'll be waiting to see what the market will do here. So once this order block fails now, there is high chance that the market will be coming for this high. And that is exactly what the gold did. You see, now we have a change of character to the upside. So that is an indication that the market is respecting this internal structure here. All right, from the 1 hour time frame or from the 4 hour time frame. All right, which is also a good change of character. Why is it that? Because you can see we had a sweep of this low. Market came to sweep this fractal high here before pushing down to give us to sweep this low. Meaning, if the market comes up and sweeps this high, takes out this high, it becomes a good change of character. So market came down there, and now we are having a change of character to the upside. So what do we do at this point of time? We identify our dealing range. All right. Currently, we are reacting from this OB up here, which I'm very sure is it visible on 2 hours. I'm not a good fan of 2 hours time frame, but always remember market is reacting from somewhere. So once I see the market giving a reaction from a point, I always like to know why is it the market reacting from that area. So I need to navigate through different time frames to see why the market is reacting from that zone. Okay. You can see exactly here from the 2 hour time frame that the market is reacting from this candle here. The last buy before the sale, that's an order block. That is where the market is reacting from, which is also a very good order block because you can see we have a sweep of liquidity here before a break to the downside. So am I anticipating this order block to push this market to take out this low? Okay, if I'm honest, I'm not anticipating that one to happen. So what I expect this order block to do is just to push this market to this demand zone, and then we look to buy, because externally we have this one as our change of character here, and market has given us this internal change of character. So what I was anticipating for this order block or this supply zone to push this market to this order block, and then you look to buy from this area. All right. So now I went to 15 minutes time frame. So from the 15 minutes time frame, there is something which caught my attention here again. I saw that from the 15, we have this last internal break before the markets reacted from this area. I looked at the low and I saw the low swept this fractal low here, meaning it was a good low. I marked this order block because again, I'm seeing the market reacting from this area. This is why I needed to see a very good confirmation before I'm looking for buying opportunities. This is why most of the traders get trapped by the market. Marking your order block or marking your key zone does not mean it's your entry zone. I will always repeat this one here. So I saw that the market is reacting from this demand zone. I need to see a very good confirmation before I look for any buys, because I know we are reacting from this supply, and this supply can push really market because we have already taken out this external high. Pull back and begin anywhere, anytime. So taking a continuation entry from this area aggressively is a red flag. So what did I see? I see, okay, market sweep this high before pushing down to give me a break to the downside. If I try to zoom in, you can see we have this 15 candle closing below this low, meaning we have a break to the downside after sweeping this high. Okay, I see that. If this market really wants to buy, then it has to break above this high. That is what I was waiting for. That is today. This is what I was anticipating, that the market has to break this high first before starting to push down, before I look for any kind of buying opportunity. But is it happening? You see, the market is reacting from this massive fair value gap here currently. If I market, we have this very big fair value gap here, and the market has reacted from this fair value gap, and it's really selling. Okay. So what am I watching now currently? If this one fails, I have another option. So first, next option will be I will wait for a market to take out this low. Okay. I will wait for a market to take out this low. Once we take out this low, now I will have a 15 minutes change of character. Are you seeing that, guys? Because this was our last break of structure. If we break this low, then we will have a 15 minutes change of character. That is our confirmation that the pullback of this 4-hour swing here, or this 4-hour structure here around this area has begun. So what will I be doing? I will be looking for counter trends to capitalize on these sales as I'm waiting for a market to come to this area. Okay. Remember, when the market taps to the 50% of your daily range, you have to be very careful, because if I measure from this high to this low, you can see that this is where we have the 50% and we have this on a block here. But for me, I'm anticipating that this low to be used as liquidity. I'll sweep off that low, and then you look for buying opportunity. But whatever the market will show us, that is what we will trade. All right. So currently from the 15 minutes time frame, that is what I was looking on gold today. Either this high to be taken out and I look for buying opportunity, or this low to be taken out and I look for selling opportunity. So I would like you to have eyes on those areas, because don't forget we also have this order block here where we are currently inside. If it is strong enough, it should push this market and break this high. If it is weak, then it will be violated. Once we close below here, just expect the market to come and take out this low. All right. And once we take that, look for wait for pullback, look for selling opportunities, just to target these lows here as liquidity. So that is my idea on gold. So moving to our next pair, which is going to be BTC, of course. From the BTC, what are we really seeing, guys, here again? If you remember what we did here last time, BTC, we had this analysis around this area, guys. If you remember very closely, we had this last internal break of structure to the upside. We saw BTC coming to this order block, right? Do you see this demand zone? So BTC came to this demand zone, and we shifted to 15 minutes time frame. So once we reached the 15 minutes time frame, we needed to see our confirmation. What is our confirmation? A change of character. That is the most important and common confirmation that we'll ever see as a smart money trader. So what did we see? We had a sweep of this eye before market pushing to give this break. Later on, we got a change of character. What is our entry? This order block. The last sale before the buy, that is also our head block. You enter from there, and I remember, guys, telling you guys this will be our TP. And you can see the market pushed up and hit the TP. It was around 1:5. And unfortunately for me, I remember mentioning on Sunday that I missed this entry, because this one happened at the closure of the New York session, and it was on Friday, and I don't like holding trades on the weekend. So then I ended up missing that entry, which played out very well and hit the TP towards the on Monday in the evening. So market hit the TP. So currently, what are we having? Since we have this new break of structure from the 4-hour time frame, what are you looking for? So for me, I have this one. From the 4-hour time frame perspective, this is my liquidity. I also have this liquidity zone here. That is from the 4-hour. And I can see we have a very good order block below this liquidity, because we have the last sell before the buy, which becomes my order block. So I have 2 points of interest. The reason I'm marking this one here from the 1-hour time frame, which I've also refined from the 15. From the 1-hour, it should be that candle. If I pick my fib, I place from the high. I place from the high all the way to the low. We can really see that those two zones of mine, they are resting at the right place. That is from the discount, okay, making them to be very good zone. The reason I'm also marking this point of interest is because I can see that this low swept this internal liquidity, right? So it means this is a very strong low. Market can decide to use this order block or this order block down here, okay? So currently, If you want to capitalize on this counter trend that is happening here, we go to the 15 minutes time frame. So what I need you to wait for. Wait for market to break this low. Once you have a candle breaking below this low, then you have a break of structure. A very strong break because you see sweeping this high before coming to break the low. So it means it will be a very good and a strong break of structure. So where will you enter from? You look for a good zone for you to enter, assuming that the market will reverse before sweeping this liquidity. Because if I take that sell, my target will be this liquidity. Because I know once the market takes out this liquidity, it can decide to do whatever it wants to do. Okay. So I will identify this one as my order block. That candle there. We have a very good fair value gap here. I will identify that one as my order block. I will be looking for the selling opportunity from that area. Stop loss above there, and the target will be this order block, this liquidity down here. Assuming, remember this setup is valid if the market breaks this low. Until we break this low, don't take that sell. Okay, and also don't forget that this is a counter trend, and the counter trends are always very risky. The high probability trade will be either from this demand zone or from this demand zone, because these are the ones that aligns with the higher time frame trend of the market. So that is it on BTC USD. I'm gonna move to AUD USD because we also analyzed this one on Sunday. What are we seeing, guys? So on Sunday, this pair actually it was not it was looking to sell. All right, if you remember very closely, we are looking to sell because we had this as our last internal break of structure. So we had marked this one as our demand zone around that area, which also played very well because market pushed down and took out this low as liquidity. But unfortunately, that one happened before that time window. That is why I'm telling you guys, always the time that you are taking, looking to tender your trade is very crucial. Okay. This one happened, but before our time window. So market opened with a new week opening gap around this area, pushed down to sweep this liquidity down here. So it means this order block held and fulfilled its intention. Market pushed down and gave you this sweep of liquidity. So later on, we came up and took out this high, giving us a change of character. All right. So if you remember what was we were anticipating for AUD USD to come at least to this breaker block or this demand zone, and then we look for buying opportunity from there. But always, market is always right, and we react with what the market is doing. So currently, we can see that if I measure from the high to the low, we see that already market had tapped to the 50%. That is why I'm telling you, when the market taps to this 50% zone, we have to be very careful with your selling opportunity now. If you are in any counter trend or if you want to take any counter trend, be very informed that that trade that you are looking to take now, it's very, very risky. And if you are risking on that trade, make sure you risk a very small amount of money on that because they are very, very risky trade. So because once the market taps the 50%, anything can happen from that area. And you see the market has already swept liquidity. Right? So anything was to happen from that zone. So currently, what are we seeing? So market has given us a very strong BOS actually because we had already tapped to the 50% and we already swept this liquidity. This means it's our strong low. So once I had this break of structure, I just went down to 1 hour and I marked this order block here. The last sale also before the buy. Oh, you see, what do you see? Market tapped there and is now pushing up. If I go to the 15, what am I seeing? So from the 15 time frame, I have this break of structure, which is also a very strong one because it swept this liquidity. We have a sweep and then a break. Later on, we have a change of character. So what are we anticipating, guys? All right. Market to come to this demand zone, and then I look for my buying opportunity from this area. Where will I be my targeting? This is my target. That will be my whole term target, all this one. If this one can give me 1:3, I will target this one. If not this one, I'll target this zone also. If this one does not give me 1:3, you target this zone around that area. So from 1 hour time frame, we have this one as our order block. The last sale before the buy also becomes our order block. So that is where I will be looking to buy Of course, with confirmation, because if I look at the 1 hour time frame, we have no liquidity here, right? We have no liquidity again this area, around this area. So what do you expect? Once the market comes to this area, if the market wants to sweep this low first, it will sweep it before giving us that confirmation. So for the 5 minutes time frame, it will be my Henry time frame. Once I see a confirmation, I will take my buy from that area, targeting this high. Because we know very well from the 4 hour time frame. So from the 4 hour time frame, we were anticipating for this pair to come to this area. That is our anticipation still, even up to now. We have this as our supply zone. So we are expecting, or if not this supply zone, we have this very fair value gap here between this low and this high here. It's our fair value gap. So at least we expect the market to come sweep this liquidity before giving us any indication of selling, all right, to the downside. So that is our idea on AUD USD, or that is what I'm watching on AUD USD. I don't know what you think about this. Let me know on the comment section. So moving to the next pair, and it's gonna be our last pair. It's NAS100. So if you remember very closely, guys, from the NAS100, I also did this analysis here together on Sunday. We said since we had this change of character here, all right. So this was our swing high. This is our swing low. Okay. So looking at the market on that perspective, we are anticipating the market to come and take out this sell side liquidity and give us a continuation to the downside, right? We expect the market to come and take out this sell side liquidity to give us a continuation to the downside. So what are we seeing? This was the last internal break, which was a very strong break because it swept this internal high before pushing to give this internal low. So we picked our fib, placed from the high to the low, and we marked our point of interest. And these are the points of interest we marked together on Sunday. I had this support zone here, which I was seeing it to turn to be our resistance zone. That was our first PO high, and then we have this second PO high, which is our order block from the 4 hour time frame with the liquidity below that zone. All right. So these are the zones that we expected to see reaction, and currently the market is reacting from this resistance zone. Guys, I repeat myself again. Having this zone does not mean it's your entry. Okay? I repeat, having this zone drawn does not mean it's your entry. No. This is an area that you expect to see reaction. So we need the market to give you a confirmation before looking for any selling opportunity. So when I go to the 15, as 15 minutes time frame given you any indication of sales, right? So from the 15, this was my last strong break of structure. All right? Someone might say, okay, maybe why are you not using this one as our break? Because this pullback does not satisfy my rule of 3 candlestick. If you look closely this out, only 2 candlestick pullback, and I don't count that one to be valid pullback. Okay, so this is my last break of structure from the 15 minutes time frame, which swept this liquidity before pushing to give you a break to the upside. All right, so if this market wants to sell, then first of all it has to give me this change of character here from the 15, or market can decide to push up first, take out this high, gives us a break of structure, then pushes down to break this low. Once it gives us that change of character, I look for selling opportunity from that area. All right. But as at now, because I trade what I see, what are we seeing as at now? We go to the 4 hour. All right. Once we arrive at the 4 hour time frame, we have this very nice, this massive fair value gap here from the 4 hour time frame. All right. So we have that FVG, which might also push the market up. Okay, that is something that you need to pay attention to because internally we have this last break of structure here. Although the market has already traded to the discount, that is why I'm telling you guys, traded to the premium. Once the market taps to the 50%, we have to be very careful with any counter trend. You see, the market has already traded to the discount, to the premium, sorry. So anything can happen. It can decide to sell or the buy, but most probably it can decide to sell from that area because the objective of this pullback is to come and mitigate at least the 50% of the dealing range. If it wants to push up a little bit to come and sweep this liquidity before going down, well and good. Right? But from this area, we need to see a very good confirmation before we look for any buying opportunity, which is a very risky trade actually. It's not a trade that I'm going to recommend you to take. All right? If you want to risk it, well and good, but apply a proper risk management. So from the 15 minutes time frame, what are we seeing? Something very interesting. We have a sweep of this high. We have a liquidity sweep. Then we have a break of structure here. All right, so we have that one as a break of structure there. Market reacted from this. Now we have got a change of character here. We have a change of character there. And currently, market has already traded to this area. It's currently reacting from this demand zone. We have this demand zone here. But see, because guys, I always repeat these things here over and over. This is information that I normally give you guys here. I don't think whether there is anybody else who gives you this. So we have this demand zone here, right? Since the time was not right, you see, this happens when? During the Asia session. I personally, I don't trade the Asia session. So if I have to take any trade, any buy from this area, I'll consider this is my last internal break. This one. We have this one as my last internal break. Not that one. Should be here. You have that one as my last internal break, which has already swept this liquidity here. You see that one? We have a sweep of liquidity there. If I have to trade this structure, what do I expect to see? I need to see the market pushing. I'm very patient to wait for a market to come and take out this eye. All right? Because I know that is where the change of character will happen. I need the market to come, take out that eye, this one. We have something of this sort. A break of that eye, that will be my confirmation. So what will I do? I'll join with the pullback if the time will allow me to do that. I'll wait for a pullback. I'll look for my entries to the upside. As simple as that. Because I know market can come to this supply zone. Do you see this supply? Because of this internal break. Market can come to this supply and sell. All right. So what do we need? We need to see market closing above here. Once we close above here, that is when we know that the market is respecting this internal change of character, and I'll be looking to buy from that area. If you want to take an aggressive entry, a very risky trade, you can jump in now. If you want to take that aggressive entry, you can jump in around that area, and then you target at least 1:3. But for me, if you want to take a high probability trade, wait for this high to be taken out, join with the pullback, and then you target your new high. Okay, so that is it on today's update, guys. I believe this video is more insightful and educative. I believe you have learned something from this video. So what I can really urge you is to continue practicing and practice over and over. So if you'd like to join, I do also have run a private mentorship. If you want to learn more about this one-on-one, you can really hit me on WhatsApp. The link, the payment for the mentorship and also the link to my WhatsApp is on the description of this video. So again, guys, I wish you today's happy trading day, and also tomorrow I'll see you on Sunday for our next update. So thank you very much, guys. I love you so much. Until next time, so bye bye for now.